uh, as a pharmacy professionals, you all have to acquire the necessary knowledge in pharmacy and also the necessary skills to pursue your profession tomorrow. I think in the participants, there may be students, faculty, and
All.
practitioners,
Yes.
and those who are already pursuing their profession, either in the corporate or as a consultants or in different ways. So this is going to be the future. So I congratulate all of you for taking part in this. You are the people, those who are leading in this type of activity of webinars. And as we have moved out from chalk and talk to OHPs and then PowerPoint presentations, it's a new dimension, giving a webinars, and every step ahead or otherwise, the advancement is an improvement from the past and also more value addition than the past. Otherwise, we won't accept it. So that's how these webinars definitely will add a lot of value to our learning process. Uh, that's how this has become a trend across the globe. And we quickly embrace this trend from the Geetham side. And particularly the pharmacy has taken further lead to start webinars. The other institutes also have started, but pharmacy has taken lead to start an international webinar. So for that, I congratulate both the institutes, and I hope and wish this webinar is going to add a lot of value. And in future, what I suggest both the uh, directors of the schools or institute, how to improve the quality of these webinars. As like how we will organize a physical seminars, giving an opportunity for paper presentations, and considering their paper presentations as an academic contribution and achievements, which will be even, they can add into their profiles, academic profiles. That's how we have to improve the quality of this seminar, webinars. And as like our earlier seminars and conferences, we have to improve upon it and further strengthen these webinars out of this experience. So that's how we have to look forward for good webinars in future from Geetham. And I suggest our people also to participate the webinars organized by the other parts of the world or other institutes, so that we will learn something out of it. And we also make it as a good webinars in future. With this brief note, I thank the organizers for giving opportunity to interact with all of you. And I hope and wish it's going to be a value addition to your knowledge in pharmacy. Thank you, Ganapati Garu and Shivkumar Garu, for giving an opportunity. Yes. And I congratulate your team for taking this type of initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you for your encouraging words, sir.
Yes.
So
yeah, you go ahead with the next process.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Kumar,
Yes, sir.
you introduce the next speaker.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I will.
Yes, sir.
Rakesh.
Sir, Dr. Sinha will take the lead for
Yes,
introducing the
Yes,
speaker
sir.
profile, and you will go with the next session, sir. Please.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So good afternoon to everyone again. So I like to request Dr. Rakesh Barik to give introduction for our second speaker. Dr. Rakesh.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Shenoy.
Yeah.
I hope I'm clearly audible. Yeah.
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Good afternoon, honorable dignitaries and esteemed participants. Our speaker for the second session is Dr. Ganga Raju Ketta, currently serving as Assistant Professor, Geetham School of Sciences in the Department of Chemistry. Dr. Ganga Raju Ketta is a professor A passionate academician with a current flair towards teaching and research, Sir has completed his PhD from National Sun Yat-sen University, Taiwan, post-graduation from JNTU, Hyderabad, and his graduation from Andhra University. A researcher having expertise in the field of microbial studies, nanotechnology, drug delivery systems, bioimaging, sensors, electrochemistry, environmental sciences, and thermodynamics, to name a few. He has around 24 published papers with a total of 414 Google citations and a total impact factor of 110. He's actively involved in research, especially in the field of nanosciences, nanoparticles, carbon dots, and has several international conference presentations to his credit. He's also served as a postdoctoral research fellow in the National Taiwan University of Science and Technology, Taiwan. He has around 1 year of industrial experience, 5 years of experience in research, and a total of 3 years in teaching. So with this brief profile, I request Dr. Gangaraju to start the session.
Good afternoon to all of you. Is I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You just have to share your screen. I think you have to share your screen
Okay,
for
sir.
presentation. So please also disable the annotations. Okay.
Actually, here no option showing that hide names of the annotation.
Okay. Okay. So okay. Then yeah, you carry on, sir.
So can I start?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay. This is Dr. Gangaraju, currently working as assistant professor in Department of Chemistry, School of Science, Getum, Hyderabad. Dear participants, good afternoon. Welcome to the this afternoon section. Now I am going to speak in this section about the role of nanotechnology in the drug delivery systems. First of all, I would like to congratulate the organizers for the hosting this wonderful webinar on during this COVID-19 season. Also, I appreciate the participants for showing enthusiasm for joining the section. So now I am going to start the section. So in this section, what we are going to understand is the role of nanotechnology in the drug delivery systems. So it is a combination of the drug delivery and the nanotechnology. So I will try to address both the background of the nanotechnology as well as the drug delivery, and also the current advanced technologies the researchers, scientists are developing areas also I am going to cover. I hope I will cover the topic of the drug delivery. So let us see what is the drug delivery. I hope all the participants, mostly from the pharmacy background. So as a pharmacist, including the chemistry persons also, we know that the drug the chemistry person mostly they prepare the drugs. So new method, new technology, they will establish the new drugs. But after preparation of the drug or after formulation of the drug, you should have to reach to the target where the tumor or disease is there. So we will try to understand both how this nanotechnology can help to this drug delivery. See here in this picture, the boy is driving the scooter. So here three things is there. He is carrying the some things, and the vehicle, and also the boy. The boy we generally call driver. The vehicle is here is the scooter and the goods. So the goods nothing but drugs. The goods is nothing but the drugs what used for the therapies. So the vehicle is the nano materials or nanoparticles. So the nanoparticles work as the vehicle. So who is the driver? The driver is the targeting agent. So these three compounds we are going to try to understand in this section. So first of all, let us see what is the nanotechnology. So the nanotechnology is the combination of the nano and the technology. What is the meaning of nano? Nano is very small, extremely very small. Technology we usually know development of the some new things. So basically we can say nanoscience and nanotechnology are the study and applications of extremely small things. Nothing here we will talk about the extremely small size materials. So here we can see that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. From 100 centimeter we see 1 centimeter is 10 millimeter. 1 millimeter is equal to 1000 micrometer. 1 micrometer is equal to 1000 nanometer. See how small the nano size is. So we are making nanoparticle in this size. So why nanotechnology is so important? Let us see. So when we are preparing the nano size, the size is decreasing and the surface area is increasing. Most of the people are confusing when we decrease the size, how is the surface area is increasing. Let us see how the surface area is increasing when we decrease the size. So when we break this one box to several boxes, we can see all the, when we compare all the boxes, surface area is increasing. If we break again, the total surface area of all the boxes are increasing. So in this way, the surface area or available area of that material to act is increasing. So here we can see various things which are we always observe, like virus, water molecule, watermelon. Everything having the different sizes. So our materials, nanomaterials mostly existing between the 10 nanometers to 100 nanometers. So there are the people who are preparing the nanomaterial below 10 nanometers and above 100 nanometers also. But most of the nanoparticles exist between the 100 nanometers to 10 nanometers to 100 nanometers. So these materials we can conjugate with the different kinds of organic molecules and also biomolecules based on our application. What kind of applications we are interested. So based on that, we can modify the surface of these materials, and also we can prepare the different size distributions and also different kinds of shapes. This shape is also one of the interesting research in the nanotechnology. And also porous. This is the porous is a very interesting or very important in the drug delivery. When we have the porous, we can load more number of drugs. So it will carry the more amount of that drug. So that will help to in the drug delivery system. And also different sizes and surface crystallinity. Like this, we can prepare the different kinds of the nanomaterials with size, shape, variations, and functionalization. So let us think. Nowadays, everyone is thinking that nanotechnology, nanotechnology. Currently, nanotechnology is applicable in all the areas. Even biologists, scientists working in the nanotechnology, chemistry working, pharmacists working, even the mathematics, in physics, and the biochemistry, engineering people, material science, all the people are looking towards the nanotechnology, nanotechnology, nanotechnology because of the wide advantages and applications. So this nanotechnology using in the information technology and also energy, making the batteries, biofuels, solar cells, and also medicines, various kinds of the treatments, diagnosis, and also consumer goods, daily usage things. Also, this nanotechnology currently using. So our concept is targeted drug delivery system. So the targeting drug delivery system. Okay, excuse me, 1 minute. This laptop charging is going to end. So give me 2 minutes. Sorry for the interpretation inconvenience.
Is it okay now, sir?
Yes.
Just a small glitch, dear participants. Will be rectified now.
Is I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry. So we are talking about the targeted drug delivery system. So the person who initially initiated this targeted drug delivery system is Paul Enrich. He is a microbiologist. So, now we will try to understand what is the important, what is this targeted drug delivery systems. So first our target is targeting where the disease, where the tumor is there, and also improve the solubility of our therapeutic drug and constant rate of drug delivery. So the release of the drug, it should be the constant rate. If it is released immediately, it will happen from the various kinds of the side effects and also increase the drug stability. So all these advantages we will get from the targeted nano drug delivery system. So here we can see the image, the tumor infected person and classical and traditional drug delivery system and nano medicine based drug delivery system. I will discuss more details in the next slides. So there are the several advantages in comparison to the traditional drug delivery. First of all, this nanoparticles based nano drug delivery, it can carry more drug to the targeting place, and also it will not spread to the other parts. And also in the traditional drug delivery, we need a lot of the drug, but in the nano system, it's required small amount of the drug delivery. Specifically, we didn't get any side effects. So here we can see in this traditional drug delivery system, the drug is spreading all the parts of the body. That's the reason why we will get the side effects when we take some kind of the medicines. So if you see the targeted, if you target to the specific that area, it will reach to that particular tumor part. So here the advantage, basically the idea or advantages are controlled release of the drug, targeting, more effective in comparison to the traditional drug delivery system. So in the drug delivery system, basically three components are very, very important. So as I mentioned in the initially, the vehicle, driver, and also targeting agent. So here are the three components. First one, most important, most essential thing is nanomaterial. Second thing is targeting agent. Third thing is drug or therapeutic agent. The nanomaterial act as vehicle. Targeting agent act as its help to drive the nanomaterial to that targeting place. So we know that the drug is to treat the particular disease. So here we can see nanoparticles we prepared initially, then we conjugated with target molecules, then we functionalized with drugs. So this material altogether we will use in the drug delivery system. So what are the ideal characteristics? If you want to take this material is good for the drug delivery system, this is the best, there is some certain criteria you should have to fulfill. The first thing, it should be non-toxic. So we already have the health problem. If it is toxic, that will be leads to other health issues. That's why it should be non-toxic, biocompatible, biodegradable, and physicochemical stable, both in vivo as well as in vitro. And also restrict drug distribution to target cell. Only it will be distribute the drug at target cells or tissues. So another important point is control. We have to control the drug delivery system. We also say control drug delivery system, sustainable drug delivery system. So this is the very important point. Another important point is drug release does not affect the drug action. The drug is very effective, but if our system, if it decrease the efficiency of the drug action, it will also problem. So that's why the drug release system, what we develop, that should not affect the action of our drug. Therapeutic amount of drug release. Required amount of the drug should be released. Minimum drug leakage during the transit. So when the drug is traveling throughout the body, the leakage should be very less. So current nano-based drug delivery systems. So in this system, as we discussed earlier, we will prepare the nanomaterials and conjugate with the drug targeting agent. Next, we will conjugate with the drug molecule, and the total composite we will send to the cells or animals in vivo, in vitro studies. So here, based on the pH or temperature condition, the bond between the nanomaterial and the drug, it will break at particular pH or temperature. Since the tumor, if you, for example, if you consider the cancer, the pH is lower than the other body parts. Generally, we have the pH 7, but when it is going to the tumor part, pH 5 or less than pH 5. So we will make this composition particularly break the bond at this pH level or also temperature. So people are working on the different areas: pH based drug release, temperature based drug release, magnetical based drug release. So currently various kinds of the nanomaterials using in the this drug delivery systems. First one is polymeric nanomaterials and missiles, dendrimers, polymer hydrogels, polymer drug conjugation, and liposomes, solid lipid nanoparticles, phospholipids, missiles, nano emulsions, quantum dots, gold nanoparticles. So variety of materials already established in this targeted drug delivery system. So even though there are variety of nanomaterials established for this target, but there are the certain limitations. So what are the limitations? So the synthesis of most of these materials are very complicated, using expensive and toxic chemicals, low water solubility, low stability, high toxicity, specifically cadmium, lead, based quantum dots highly toxic for the even though it will affect on the environment. So there should be some alternative to overcome these limitations. So currently the nanomaterials are widely using for these drug delivery systems. So what is the unique thing compared to other nanomaterials to these carbon dots? Actually, these carbon dots recently investigated 2004 during the purification of the single-wall nanoparticles by Jewel. So this material mostly currently developing and are preparing from the bio-based or naturally sources. So variety of the natural source already used to prepare these nanomaterials. So this material having the variety of the properties and also applications. So it shows the fluorescence, it can be functionalized with other biomolecules or organic molecules, highly biocompatible, non-toxic, and also water solubility. So because of this unique properties, this material is widely using various kinds of the biomedical, environmental, also analytical applications. So here is some of the data or experimental results I am going to discuss. The fabrication of the carbon quantum dots as a nano vehicle for targeted imaging and chemotherapy. So the synthesis methodology is we take the different kinds of the precursors to prepare the carbon dots by using hydrothermal method. So when we prepare the nanomaterial for the drug delivery system, we have to characterize the materials. First, we think this is the fluorescence or not. We observe in the UV and the daylight, and also optical results, and also TEM images. So by using these techniques, we confirm the formation of the carbon dots. And these carbon dots, whenever we prepare the nanomaterial, we should have to study the biocompatibility and toxicity. So we tested with the zebrafish, it doesn't show any toxicity and highly biocompatible even at large high amount. So we also studied with the cancer cells. In the cancer cells also it shows highly biocompatible. Then we study the pH dependent drug release studies. So when we establish the drug delivery system, especially for pH, we have to study the pH at different pH levels. So we studied at pH 5, 6, 7. So currently, researchers are mostly focusing on the combinational drug delivery systems. So it means that additional therapy with this chemotherapy, drug delivery system is generally called as the chemotherapy also. So for increasing the efficiency of the this drug delivery system. So let us see what are these combinations. First of all, people are working on the combination of the drug delivery with photothermal therapy. So in the drug delivery, we use the drugs. In the photothermal therapy, nothing but we use the laser, especially 800 nm. So the laser will be generate the heat. So it will also help to kill the tumor or cancer cell, and the drug also works. So this we call as phototherapy and chemotherapy combinations. Another kind of the combination of the therapy is drug delivery with photodynamic therapy. So here the photodynamic therapy, it will release the reactive oxygen species that react to oxygen species will help to kill the tumor, and also this chemotherapy drug also will help to kill the tumors. So these are the combination of the therapies. Another combination is dual drug delivery. So sometimes the only single drug is not enough to cure that particular disease. So people also, scientists also establish the dual drug delivery and also dual targeting drug deliveries. And also there is another interesting research area is imaging guiding nano drug delivery. So we want to see where is this disease part or tumor part, how small, how big, or the treatment is going well or not. So the diagnostic techniques also combined with this drug delivery system. So such as fluorescence imaging combination with drug delivery and MRI imaging combination with drug delivery. So there are the variety of advantages these techniques or this drug delivery. So the protocol is very simple and toxicity is reduced. So drug can be reached to the target place. Dose is less in comparison to the conventional drug delivery system. So I hope you people enjoy the section. So we also welcome you for research collaborations or short-term or long-term project works. You can reach out us at this email IDs. Thank you to all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your informative session and with very nice presentations. I request Dr. L. Srinivas, sir, to moderate the question and answer session.
Yeah, thank you, Sunay.
Yes, sir.
Now I request all the participants to present your questions on chat box so that I convey to the guest. Before the students will ask, one question from me to sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we have particle sizing techniques in nano size technology, sir. How to control the size? What are the methods you are having in general? Can you tell, sir?
Okay. You mean the particle size control?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are telling that it will be in the nano size range.
Yes.
How we can control the size? There are several techniques in making,
Yes.
but how to control the size?
Okay. So by using different conditions, usually for the size control, one thing is that the concentration of the precursors material which we selected for the preparation of the nanomaterials, that is the one criteria, and also conditions specifically for the temperature and time also play the role to preparing the different size of the our nanomaterials.
Okay, sir. And another in general question I am asking.
Yes, sir.
Maybe if you can, as far as
I will try to
conjugation yes, sir. As far as conjugation is concerned,
yes.
what is the effectiveness of conjugation? How we can, because it is theoretically speaking, it is good.
Yes, sir.
But practically, how best we can do conjugation with these nanoparticles?
Yeah, it's a very good idea. Actually, the people are working in the hydrophilic and hydrophobic. Those cases, people will face the problem for the conjugation. So basically, we should have to think the bond between the targeting agent and nanomaterials. So in the nanomaterial surface, generally people modified with hydroxyl or carboxylic and amine surface functional groups. These functional groups help to conjugate with other molecules, sir.
Okay. So let us see some questions from the participants. So one question.
Sir, my video is you can see.
Yes.
Okay.
You can see, sir.
Okay.
So can I ask questions from the participants, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes.
One thing is how zeta potential influence the stability of nanoparticles. Dr. Ravindra Babu is asking.
Okay, the zeta potential is one of the important thing in this drug delivery system. For example, we prepare the nanomaterial in the negative charge, so or positive charge. When the nanomaterial has particular charge and the drug also have the particular charge. For example, both have the negative charge. When we conjugate, the negative charge will be increased. Or if it is the positive charge or one is the negative charge, the charge variation will also help us to confirm the conjugation of the drugs or conjugation with drug with the nanometals. I hope I answered.
Not only that, sir, stability of nanoparticles.
Stability
That
of
means dispersal stability, because nanoparticles needs a lot of dispersibility.
Yes, if you want to study about the stability, not only zeta potential, we have to also check other stability tests. For example, we have to.
Theoretically, they will say 50 millivolts.
According to my experience, I will address the question.
Okay.
So we have to check for long time. For example, we kept the material 1 week or even the 1 month. It is the stable in the dispersion or not, we will check. And also we check the UV absorption spectra. Some material will show the fluorescence, and we will also check the quantum yield. And also some people, they study on the laser therapy, and with the laser also we will check the stability. So we have to optimize the several conditions. Even the pH also we have to check, and the different ions also we have to check. So not only zeta potential, we also have to additionally study the other methods to confirm the stability of our materials.
Okay. So another question,
Yes,
in
sir.
photodynamic therapy,
Yes.
how cancer treatment is possible? Reactive oxygen species.
Yes. So in the photodynamic therapy, what the people are studying that they prepare the material which can be react to the light. Photosensitizer, we say. Generally, we say that photosensitizer. So when we treat with this light with that photosensitizer, that sensitizer will be release the reactive oxygen species. That oxygen species will be help to kill the cancer. I hope I answered.
Yes, sir. So some general questions are there, sir.
Okay.
How can these nanoparticles be used in treating coronavirus?
Oh, actually, coronavirus, we can also writing some proposals and writing some review. I also think initially I also didn't get any idea, but later I understand. So some nanomaterials, metal nanomaterials like silver nanoparticles already established for the virus, and also some people also study for the coronavirus. So apart from these, recently the carbon dioxide shows effect on this coronavirus or COVID-19. So what the people are done the work there, they prepare the carbon dot, the precursor material which shows the antiviral effect. For example, boronic acid. The boronic acid branch of the compound shows the high effective for this coronavirus. So they make that material into the nano size and try to treat this coronavirus. So if we can look at in the nature, different kind of the molecule effective, which can show that this COVID-19. So that's why we can try it. Hello, is it clear?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So remaining all are general questions.
Okay.
That is, if any toxicity developed, how can we treat? Anyhow, for all these things you have to address. That is different story. It may change from species to species. Okay, sir. So
Okay,
I think remaining all general questions.
Okay.
Most of the important questions are as addressed. So now I am giving this to Mr. Sonoy. I think you can conclude the session. Hello.
Yeah, hello, sir. So I request Sir Shivkumar sir, please conclude this session, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Gangaraju sir, for your active discussion regarding the nanotechnology and the drug delivery system. You have given us an input regarding how to compare the conventional drug delivery system and the nanotechnology. This has provided most of the participants with the new ideas regarding the nanotechnology delivery system, and then how it can be potentially be thought for the newer targets, and how to develop the new systems for the various kinds of diseases, including
Sir, sorry to bother
COVID.
you. there is one question. It is popping up for a long time. They are asking, is it the nanoparticle is useful in transdermal drug delivery system?
Yes,
There is
people
one
are
question.
working at, yeah, people are working on that area also. It is possible.
Okay, sir.
Sir, Shivakumar sir, you can talk.
Sir,
Shivakumar,
sir.
Dr. Shivakumar.
Shivakumar sir. I think he is there actually. Sir, can
All the questions from the participant. So we would capture all the questions from the participants, and then we would request the speaker to answer to them. And as the names and other things are there, we would like to address the questions. If they are very specific, we will answer you back to your mails. Yeah. So I thank once again Dr. L. Srinivas sir and Dr. Sinai, Dr. Gangaraju sir for the speech and giving the excellent inputs regarding the very short discussions about the nanotechnology. Thank you once again, sir, for your
Thank you, sir.
time, for providing us to give us inputs upon the nanotechnology and the nano delivery system. Thank you, sir.
thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. So, so can we conclude this session, sir?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So, from permission from everyone, so we are concluding this session. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor Ganapathy, sir. Thank you, Professor G. Shivakumar, sir. And thank you very much, Professor L. Srinivas, sir. And thanks to the speaker, too. So, we are concluding this session. So, next session will start by 5 o'clock. So, be there. I'm asking. So, now you can leave this session. The PPT will be given in your WhatsApp chat group. And anyway, you have the email ID of the speaker. If you want to ask any more specific questions, you can surely mail him. And yeah, so this is the thing. So we'll meet at 5 o'clock. Thank you, everyone. So I'm ending the meeting.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yep. If
Okay.
everybody is closing down the session, you can also do that, and then we'll rejoin again by 4:45 or something like that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks.